Why is she having a tough time deciding? A lesson on why being picked. A month and a half ago, my wife of 4 years, together 6 years, told me I love you but I'm not in love with you, and revealed she had a boyfriend she'd been dating for 2 months whom she was in love with. She said she hadn't been in love with me for about a year and a half. I couldn't believe it. She needed time apart from me to think about things, got her own apartment. Since then, it's been pure hell. I've seen her only 4 times, I'm not allowed to call, and we text maybe 2 to 4 times per day, usually about trivial stuff. I let her initiate all communication. I never send the first text. She continues to date the OM. Every so often she'll text and tell me she really misses me. She says she does love me now, but I'm still not sure exactly in what sense. We've kissed, and she is fairly affectionate when we're together but still reserved. She will listen to me express my feelings to an extent but will not talk about her reasons for separating from me other than once saying I was inattentive. She also mentioned she'd been going through a lot lately, including her father dying a year and a half ago, which is exactly the same time frame she stated she fell out of love with me. And I can't help but think there's a connection. She's been going back and forth on this from moment to moment. Once within the same text she told me I was the one for her and the OM was second best, but she's considering marrying him and moving to another city. Last night she called very late and said she's coming home for the night and not to ask why. About 30 minutes later she texted and said never mind. She'd tried to break up with the OM but they were going to talk about it. Any advice on what to do? I feel their relationship is like an addiction. She's blinded to all the hurt she's causing me and herself by the rush of a new romance. I love this girl so completely and will not give up on her. I do not believe in divorce. I believe love weathers all things even when the other spouse is unfaithful. And I've laid with her and seen the unmistakable look in her eyes. The same look from when we first fell in love. That says she still loves me too. I'm almost 100% certain my wife's affair is an exit affair, meaning she is likely seeking for me to withdraw from our marriage rather than divorce me herself. I got the I love you but I'm not in love with you speech, and we are separated. I'm hesitant to go no contact because A, I still love her, and B, I truly do not believe in divorce. I believe it's a shame to throw a marriage away. I believe all problems can be solved, discounting violence. I'm holding out hope that it's a see if it comes back to life affair. Again, if I withdraw in this case, I think she'll just see the marriage didn't come back to life. I know she's cheating. She confessed and continues to see him. What keeps me going is that it's been 2 months and she hasn't divorced me, and she has said she felt things for me during the separation, missed me, etc. In any other situation I'd have gone no contact long ago, but I'm so unsure if it's a kill it and bring it back to life or an exit affair. Even if it is an exit affair, I recognize that all affairs are drugs and believe that when she comes out of the fog, she'll regret it, especially since the other guy is, by her own admission, exactly like me. We are both poor. If anything, she makes more than me. She gets health insurance through my job, but I doubt that's a motivating factor. She and I both have a history of being conflict avoiders. There was no major blowout or anything that caused this. I think it's just months of unresolved issues. I see walking away as dismissing a chance to grow personally, and an opportunity to do so together. Should the marriage end, of course I'll take what I learned into the next relationship and still grow. But I'd like to try to help her improve herself too. A month later, last night I came home and found a letter saying she wanted to end our marriage, which I expected but still would a hard blow. I spent the night lying in bed with my eyes closed and sleep swearing, like snoring, but instead I muttered crap. Then this morning I get a text saying she thinks she made a mistake. When I was at work, I get another one saying she's willing to cease contact and come home, and could I pick her up from his house now and all her stuff. So of course, I left work immediately, picked her up, and brought her home. I knew it was going to be rough, and that she'd be fighting an urge to go back to him. I expected a rough couple days at the very least. Well, I got on the train back to work and received a text that she'd moved all her stuff back. She was home for an hour. She's tried to leave him several times, and according to her, very often has a come get me text prepared to send me with her finger hovering over the button. This was the longest she's ever left him. Now she is almost certainly moving in 2 weeks. She wants to remain friends, but I told her Friday will be the last day she sees me until she ceases contact with the OM, which could very well mean I'll never see her or speak to her again. I have one last possibility for bringing her out of the fog, that a dearly respected and deeply religious aunt of hers doesn't know about her affair. Some of her family knows already, and she's planning on bringing the OM home for Christmas. But should I ask her aunt to talk some sense into her? Also, since I just started no contact and it seems to have had an immediate effect, should I wait a while to file for divorce? No kids, and I definitely do not want a divorce. I have been enduring this for 2 months now though, with no end in sight. She will not divorce me herself. It's a guilt thing, I know, but at the same time she became genuinely worried about never seeing me again, after she came home today and subsequently returned to the OM. I texted her saying she should stop following her emotions because they just keep leading her back and forth between me and the OM, and I reminded her she only has a few days before she never sees me again. Her reply, "That's your choice," which leads me to believe she doesn't think I'll actually refrain from contacting her. So that's why I'm wondering if I should hold off on the D for a short while. Enough time to let her know I'm serious about ceasing contact and to let her really experience life without me. Another concern is I've already given a hard date for the D, and postponing it could damage my credibility. Comments: the truth is the fact that you are enduring it basically makes the entire affair much easier for your wife. You are making it way too easy for her. She knows all she has to do is send you a text message, "Pick me up," and you will drop what you are doing and run there to get her. Then she misses the OM and she can go back to him. This is unreal. You should take a look at what the people here refer to as the 180. The way you're handling this, it is not going to work in your favor. OP responds, "I'd like to stay with her because 1. I love her enough to rescue her from herself. 2. I believe in marriage. And 3. I believe in second chances. But not third. Also, I know this is a drug she's on, and she's not herself. My analogy is that she's the drunk chick at the party and I'm the friend walking her home. I actually find I've gained a lot of self-respect from sticking around. I now know the strength of my convictions, and should we get divorced, I'll know I tried everything rather than running straight to the courthouse on D-Day. Luckily, the only asset we have is the $600 in our bank account. Maybe I should fight for the full $600. I found a letter on our computer, written to her family to tell them the news. There are factual inaccuracies, such as that I agreed to the divorce and that she started dating her new boyfriend just after the separation. I've corrected the errors and am presenting the revised letter to her tonight. We will mail it together tonight, or I will call her family in the morning. I'm only giving her warning because she was already planning on telling them about the divorce and her new boyfriend in the next few days, so I'm just giving her the opportunity to explain the full truth herself. Tell her I'm doing it to save my reputation with her family. I don't want them thinking I didn't love their daughter. And I'd like them to know how hard I fought. And hoping that before morning the fog lifts enough that she reconsiders. I've just exposed my wife's affair, and everyone's calling her tomorrow to let her know they know. I've also contacted the OM's parents and siblings. My question is to anyone who's exposed before: how long before your spouse returned to the marriage? I let it go too long. I'm a recovering nice guy. But the only people close who know are her best friend and her stepmom, who's on my side. We live very far from our family, so they just found out when I told them. And don't have close friends here. She declared it was over with him and moved home just 5 days ago, but then moved back. So I still feel there's a chance. Also, she refuses to divorce me herself, and though I've told her we won't remain in contact should she choose him, she keeps asking me to stay in her life. I won't unless she's my wife. If it doesn't work, I've definitely become a stronger person through this. It's been 2 days now since I exposed to WW's family and other man's family. I stated that she's not to contact me until she's done with the other man unless it's a financial issue. I've received 5 or 6 texts from WW since then. First angry, then practical, remember the cat's vet appointment, etc. And about 2 hours ago I get we really need to talk. The conditions under which you'll accept me back are so undesirable, coming back isn't an option. For reference, here's the conditions. 1. Cease all contact with other man. 2. Attend marriage counseling. 3. Understand when I check phone records and emails. 4. Agree to answer questions about the affair. I will only ask about the affair at designated times, twice per week for 30 minutes, so you don't feel bombarded with questions. After 1 month I'll only ask once per week. In time I won't need to ask anymore. 5. Say unique prayers every night. Attend church every Sunday. Discuss our marriage every Sunday night for 20 minutes. 6. Keep Thursdays open for date day and have mini dates every Sunday after church. 7. Start our video business together. Make at least one creative project together every month. Now, some of these things I'm willing to negotiate on. No negotiation on number 1 though. My question to you guys is, having already instated no contact with WW, should I meet to talk about these requirements? Should I be willing to negotiate on any of these things? Again, number 1 stays. What are your personal exceptions to no contact with a wayward spouse? Comments. First of all, you should not have an open window for WW to come back whenever she feels that she is done with other man, which may never happen. You need to contact her and let her know that she needs to break off communication with other man as of immediately and to sit down together and come clean on everything that happened or risk losing you forever. If she really cares about this marriage, she will do it. If she does, trust me, she will not tell you everything, and you should not trust everything she tells you. If you truly feel that you want this marriage to work after sitting together and talking about it, then make sure to do all you can to monitor what she is doing without letting her know, because there is a very good chance she still might keep in touch with other men and just not let you know. Also, she should know that it would take time for her to gain your trust again. If she feels that it's not worth it for her, then it is definitely not worth it for you too. She should be the one doing everything she can to save this marriage. OP responds, I've just told her I still won't see her until she's done with him, and that she can give her opinions on my conditions by email. Number 1 to 4 are non-negotiable. She says that by refusing to see her in person until she's done with OM, I'm not creating a good environment to come back to. Ugh, this is exhausting. Still, I think she's afraid her cake-eating days are ending. Very rough day today. It's been 3 months since D-Day, and the wife told me yesterday she's moving away on Thursday with the OM before anyone berates me. I know I didn't handle this affair very well, made a lot of mistakes, didn't go to NC right away. Took too long to expose to her family. A lot of mistakes, but I wasn't ready to emotionally detach so quickly. I admit all that, so please don't point it out to me. One last ray of hope is that she won't divorce me. Absolutely will not do it herself. I know this is common for a WW. I know this is out of guilt, but no wife ever felt guilty for divorcing someone she could never love. I know she's going to leave, and I should kill that ounce of hope now, but I'd like to have it for a few more days. I'd also like to tell her to duck off though and paper airplane the divorce papers over my shoulder to her as I walk away. A few people in my affair support group suggested a legal separation. Most people suggest divorce, no question. I'm going to tell her to file for divorce herself before she leaves, and if she can't do it then stay. Doubt that'll have much effect, and it seems the choice is mine on Friday. I won't remain friends, and this angers her greatly. I told her it's too painful to see you with another man, and it's literally killing me. Lost 30 pounds. Got PTSD. Have high blood pressure at only 30 for the first time ever. She said it's selfish of me. Yeah, honestly, the one having an affair and abandoning the marriage called me selfish for not wanting to watch her be with the other man. This is definitely the fog, and I wish I could clear it away. I did agree to see her one last time just so we could sort property, and because I want to ask one last time why she won't file. I've never gotten an answer from her on that, even though I know it's guilt, and hey, there's the infinitesimally slim chance my very emotional wife will break down at the courthouse before filing. So tomorrow is the last day I will ever see my wife. I'm pretty much on my own now. We moved across the country last year, so I don't have any close friends nearby. I have 3 cats, some or all of whom I'll have to give away now due to finances. I've boxed up all our mementos and told her I don't want them. She should take them. Not sure yet what to do about the rings, give them to her, or we each keep our own, or I take them both and sell them. Contrary to how this sounds, I am an optimist and know I'll get better. Hell, that's what kept me around for 3 months. But I'm not ready to be better yet. I'd love to hibernate for 2 or 3 months and not have to go to work. They should treat affairs like a maternity leave and grant me a few weeks with pay. At least when she's gone on Thursday, the path ahead will be a bit clearer. Time to begin working on me, getting a stable career, etc. The best revenge is a life well lived. Also, something that pisses me off. She said that me telling her I could never see her again, due to the absolutely paralyzing pain, as I explained, was a major reason in her decision to go with the OM that I didn't value our relationship. This, my friends, are what they call blame shifting. It's my fault she's leaving. I don't value the relationship I fought 3 months to save, and she values the relationship she's actively destroying. What logic? I will be divorcing her on Friday if she won't do it by Thursday, and we all know she won't. But I'm not a prideful person. I don't need the bragging rights to say I kicked her ass out. And I'd much rather make her suffer the pain of finishing what she started rather than making me do the dirty work. That to me is much more satisfying, knowing just how much she doesn't want to do it. For 3 months my wife's affair has been the only thing on my mind. The only thing. You people know what I'm saying. I've never thought about one thing so intensely for so long. My mind is fried. They say the best thing is to just do the things you enjoy. Well, I'm an artist and a writer. The damn affair is the only thing I can draw or write about. I have to move soon because of this mess, so I can't really go take a class or join a group to get new interests. I have no money because of the affair too. She had to go get her own place, so going to shows isn't an option. I feel stuck in every sense, left to sit here and think about it. I wish she could experience this pain for 10 minutes. Then maybe she'd feel remorse. That's the worst, knowing she doesn't feel remorse and I'm stuck with the wreckage of her careless, evil behavior. I know, I can't control her and I can't let her behavior control me. But I'm still pretty early in this living hell, and only beginning to shake her out of my heart. On our wedding candle it says, "And the two shall become one." I just saw it the other day packing up our stuff. And maybe if I cut it in half, I'll feel better. So hard to not let her actions hurt me, and not to think about the affair every second of the day. But I'm building that wall with one brick every day. I've made clear to my wife that if she leaves with the OM, she and I will not remain in contact. She objects to this and wants to remain friends. Is very upset about it. She plans to move with him on Thursday, and tonight we're dividing the stuff. No kids, no major assets. So, unless some emergency comes up in the next few days, tonight is the last time I'll see my wife. I'd like it to be cordial, not angry or too lovey-dovey. Though it will be tough to not swing to extremes. Not looking for miracle solutions because I know they don't exist. Just want to hear some stories of how people have handled this situation before. Weeks later, I made the mistake of trying to romance her, etc. She reacted positively in the short term, but ultimately it was a waste of effort. By the time I started becoming firm about 2 months in, it was too late. Now I'm preparing the papers. I still don't blame myself for anything though. All goes back to her decision to cheat. Someone should invent a wedding ring that shocks waywards when they cheat, like an electric dog collar, if she were truly remorseful and willing to work for forgiveness. And if she agreed never to contact him again and felt despite her feelings for him it was all a huge mistake, then I would be open to taking her back. I know what a great person she once was, and if she can resurrect that person and bury this evil twin of hers, well, I'd like to be with that person again. I'm not waiting for miracles any longer though. My wayward wife texted me today to let me know her stepmom is having heart trouble. I was really close to her stepmom and considered her a friend more than an in-law. That got me really thinking today, wow, I'm never going to see her family again. All these people I've grown to love and accept as my own family, spent holidays and birthdays with, gone, all because she had an affair and wants to leave for someone else. How selfish divorce is. I'm sure she never thought of how I'm losing her family. It burns me up to think he's taking my spot at the family dinner table, and it hurts to know she wants to pull herself from my family. My sisters, parents, grandparents, they just don't mean much to her. Insulting, down to the core. Had a rough day today. You know, most of the time when people say, I did nothing today, they mean they watch TV, went online, read a book, etc. I find that on days like today, I can't even bring myself to do any of those things. I tried to watch a movie but spent over an hour trying to decide which one. About 70% of my day has been me sitting on this bed just petting my cat. And I can't believe how disoriented I feel about time. I haven't gotten up in 6 hours. It's midnight already. Sometimes the grief is so overwhelming I think it's a mental defense mechanism to just shut down. This morning was unbearably stressful. So tonight I feel nothing. Empty. When you're crumbling apart over and over, I guess feeling nothing is the new happy. I'm only half joking there. Days later, filed for the divorce yesterday, even though I really didn't want to. I was forced into a corner. She won't quit the affair, and she won't file herself. I told her if she wants it, she can file. But now on top of all the crap she's pulled, I'm left to do the awful task of filing entirely against my will. I realize she's emotionally divorced me already and this is just paperwork. But still, it's awful. Had to go to the courthouse 5 times before I could bring myself to actually do it. She lives far away now, so telling her in person isn't an option. How did you guys tell your spouses you filed? What did you say? How did they react? A week later, my wife who moved out with the OM says she's interested in coming back home on a 1-month trial basis, meaning she's home, but keep in contact with OM. She wants to test the water and see if we can recapture what we once had. I kindly explained never before in our marriage did we have a third person, nor will we in the future. So any such trial won't accurately represent what our marriage can be. Monogamy or bust. And really, marriage is always a trial. You're free to leave anytime you want. You know, this whole experience has been littered with artificial deadlines. First, she was going to be separated for a month, then another month, then December 1st, then February 1st. I've stopped giving them any weight months ago and am moving on. If she wants to come back, she can follow me. Anyone else's spouse keeps tossing out such deadlines. Okay, I'm going to decide by January. No. Valentine's Day. No. The next lunar eclipse. I filed but she doesn't know. Still needs to be served. Also, she says the trial basis would be a good idea because it would give the OM a month to get used to the idea of not having her in his life. Wow, I wish you'd extended me the same courtesy when you announced you were having an affair and moved out the same night. I want her back if she comes out of the fog and truly is remorseful. Don't think that's likely to happen though. I've made it known that I'm not talking to her until she agrees to the conditions I gave and believes her relationship with OM was a mistake, and that just because I'd talked to her doesn't mean I'd drop the divorce. This new version of her, definitely don't want that. Nope, forget it. Comments. The old version is long gone. You have to realize that. She has been away and with someone else. You two have changed. You need to start moving on yourself. That is the best and most effective way to lift fog. Since August she has not had to make a choice. No, she does but knows she has time. You shouldn't be wanting her back. That's the problem. She should be coming to you crawling, begging for a chance to do the hard work. No, not even begging, doing the hard work of working on her part of issues that caused the infidelity. Without even a hint of your approval. My comment, the last update we got is that OP did not take his wife back. But he really should stop setting up himself as plan B or else he will fail at his next relationship as well. A mini story too, more of question than a story. I could sure use some unbiased advice. I have been separated for a year. Wife of 11 years moved out 7 months ago. We always cared and loved for each other but grew apart in the last few years, and I sensed some distance. And from time to time, felt that she wasn't happy. Last year I found out that she had been unfaithful throughout our entire marriage, with 3 different men, and one emotionally. I did feel this at times and tried to find out if my suspicions were right, but never could catch her. At times I just thought that maybe I was a jealous, insane person. Turns out, I was right. She told me that she had loved one of the men on and off over the years. These affairs weren't ongoing, more like on for a couple of years, and off for a couple of years. By the time I had found out, she had ended things and was trying to make things right with me. I believe her, because I have always cared and loved for her very much. Her reasons for the affairs, she says, were all to do with her, and not me. So, we decided to separate, because she felt that we couldn't go on, and that I would not be able to forgive her. Which I have. I begged her to stay, but she left. So, I decided to try and be her friend and help her out, moving things around her new house and so on. I started dating someone very soon after she left, and it helped me through my devastation. But as time went by, my ex and I became closer, and found ourselves in bed together. So, I ended things with the new woman, as I knew that my confused state of mind would only hurt her. Now my wife thinks that we have found our way back to each other and is asking me to give it another go. She feels that if we really couldn't stay apart, there must be reasons deep down for it. I somewhat agree. I care and love her so much, but was starting to move on. I feel that the new relationship I was having with this new wonderful woman got trampled on due to an ex that was changing her mind. Don't get me wrong, I played a big part in that too. I had a very hard time not wanting to see the ex. Today we are a final decision stage. She wants to know what I want to do, and I just can't seem to figure it out. I didn't want her to leave, but she did, and I remained her friend. I started to move on, maybe too soon, and part of me wished she did too. Maybe we would both be in a better place, rather than feeling like we're going through a massive breakup again. This is of course a very condensed version of what happened, but the facts are, we were always good friends, had a good family and regular bonding life. But she was unfaithful many, many times, with a few men. And when it was all coming to an end, I found out, and here we are. I love her, I forgive her, but I just can't go through that again, and I'm having a very hard time letting go of someone that I cared so much about, for so long. Is there a real chance to start over, or do you just pick up and move on, putting yourself first? I always believed that marriage was in good times, and bad times about sticking together. I know it seems what the obvious thing to do is. It's hard when you have loved someone for so long to think about letting them go. I believe that she does really love me too. She is getting help, counseling, and is willing to try anything to make things work. But so much has happened. Sometimes I think it's going to be better for both of us if we move on with our lives, separately. Time will tell. I certainly made myself available reconnecting with her. I was always there to help her around her new house, try to be a friend, and talked about the past. We discussed many of our issues, and the things she did. That's partially my fault too, but I do know the reality of what she did, for years. And it did ruin me. My comment: you guys got any advice for OP? Comment down and stay vigilant in your relationships.